Good morning, beautiful community. On behalf of the Rescuing Our Communities podcast, I am Clayton here with another live cast and an excellent discussion into a topic that many people may find somewhat troublesome. But it doesn't mean that it's not the truth. So today, audience, we are going to talk about something that is a very, very, very important and often untalked about topic within minority communities and within the community as a whole. And I would say it's the impact that black women have on the civil rights of black men. The question I'm going to pose today is have black women become a bigger threat to black men than white supremacists or racists? That is probably a really insane question. And some of the women who watch my podcast are going to say, how dare this guy say that black women have become a bigger threat than racist white men or racist overall? The people, today I make this podcast because I am completely confident that the greatest threat that a black man will face to his success, his freedom, and his peace of mind has become the black woman. Black women have been so tainted by the power structure of illegal law enforcement and racism that they now use the tools of law enforcement that were made to help them if they were in a situation as revenge vehicles to get even on men who may not want them, and who may not want them, who may have hurt them, whatever it might be. In nine out of, I want to say, in people, in 90% of African American domestic violence cases, the women are lying through their teeth. Men don't just walk around beating on women anymore. Now, yes, there are men who lose their temper and they put their hands on women, but people, I want to tell you, more than half of the time that happens, is the woman who is initiating the physical confrontation. And the man loses his composure and puts his hands on the woman, and then the woman will claim abuse and jam that man up. Black women have become horrible to black men. They are oppressive. They are pathological liars. They have false sense of entitlement where they don't feel that they actually have to be contributing parts of the relationship to receive the benefits that the man may work his entire life for. This is why men go to other nationalities, black men. This is why we marry Spanish women. This is why we'll marry white women. This is why we abandon our own women, black men, because black women are the worst, I want to say, and the most detrimental element to the success of a black man in the community as it relates today. Racism in law enforcement is still a problem. Racist prosecutors are a problem. Racist cops are a problem. But black women have become the chess pieces of the racism in law enforcement to enforce oppression and slavery against their men. Now, some people are going to say today, Clayton, how the hell can you say something like that? Who do you think you are? I'm going to tell you who I think I am. I'm a black man who has been lied on by black women his entire life. I've had numerous false reports filed on me by black women who were mad they could not do anything to me physically or socially to hurt me. So the one thing they knew they could do to me was run to the police and lie on me, and that the police would help them. Because, see, again, people, black women are the chess pieces of racist law enforcement. They use black women to effectuate domestic violence orders of protection against men, to arrest men for it, because this all helps them in the criminal justice process, make it appear as though they're doing their job. And then those same black women are used as puppet trophies by the racists who honor them and praise them, knowing that these black women are lying. People, what proof do I have of that? People, everybody knows the proof I have of that. I have several instances. But the main incident is when my ex girlfriend was convicted of domestic violence offenses in New Jersey, and she went to a racist law enforcement system on Staten Island. And the district attorney she was sexually involved in, a racist white man. I got into a conversation with people on social media yesterday, and women were telling me, white women, that that a white man can't be racist if he sleeps with a black woman. And people, when this woman said this to me, I said, Shorty, you really need to read your history. Because white men have been raping black women since the beginning of slavery. See, just because a black man might not, a black, excuse me, just in case a white man might not like a black man, doesn't mean he's not going to be attracted to a beautiful face or a nice ass or a great set of tits on a black woman. And people, if we go back into the time of slavery, which we absolutely have to, people, to discuss this because it is a deep-seated issue within the fabric of America. Is the true attraction that white men have always had to black women, even while they were lynching their men, even while white men were killing their own offspring from the black woman, they were still sleeping with black women. See, one thing you have to understand about men, ladies, and this is sad, that less disciplined men, vagina is vagina. They don't care if it's black, white, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. They're gonna sleep with it. They don't care. So just because you might see a black man sleep with a a white woman, excuse me, because we know black men sleep with white girls. Just because you might see a white man sleep with a black woman doesn't mean that he's not racist. It doesn't mean that he doesn't secretly hate black men. It doesn't mean that he doesn't openly hate black men. It just happens to mean that this one black girl is attracted to him. It doesn't mean he looks at her as an equal. People, 9 out of 10, he never looks at the black girl as an equal. But he will sleep with her because of the the physiological need to bed a woman that they are attracted to. Of course, white men can be attracted to black women, of course, but it doesn't mean that they have to respect or even honor the rights of black men. And history has taught us that they have not done this. Black white men have dated black women and had sex with them in the day and go lynching black men at night. So we can't actually say that just because a white man is attracted to a black woman, that that white man might not be racist. People, he could totally be racist. It's just the reality of life. And see, black women know this. Black women know that they can manipulate law enforcement by pretending to make a black man worse than he actually is. God forbid if that black man has ever been in trouble with the law, because that same black woman is going to go into a precinct and she's going to use that criminality that probably has nothing to do with him. The guy could have been arrested 15, 20 years ago for something, but the first thing a black woman's going to do is she's going to walk in the precinct because she knows how much the system hates a black man with a record, and she's going to mention that record. Because now that immediately puts the white men who hate black men on her side. Oh, he got a record? Yes, we can get it. People, I know this because it was done to me on Staten Island. 15 years ago, people, I got in trouble for something. 15 years ago, people, I wasn't even dating my ex. I didn't even know this girl at the time. But the main thing that she has used to walk into every precinct she's used to turn racism against me is the fact that I've had a criminal record from 20 years ago. Mind you, people, I wasn't even dating this bitch when it happened. I had nothing to do with her. I didn't know her. She has nothing to do with it. But it's enough for the racism in law enforcement. The racist white men you will see in law enforcement, the simple fact that a black man has a past criminal record that has nothing to do with the woman is enough for them to turn against a black man and arrest him for something that has nothing to do with what he may have been arrested for 20 years ago. The greatest weapon against black men nowadays are our own women. Black women are the worst weapon used against black men. They lie on black men, they falsify documents on black men, they socially slander black men because the truth of the matter is if a black man doesn't want a black woman, that black woman will feel like that black man shouldn't be with anybody. So they're going to defame you. They're going to lie on you. They're going to do everything they can to make you look like the biggest piece of shit on the planet because they need to defame you to make sure you're unhappy because you don't want to be with them. And people, I know this for a fact because it was done to me by Francina Evans, the ex-girlfriend who I have a lifetime order of protection against. People, I broke this woman's heart when I dumped her. She couldn't tolerate the community of Staten Island knowing she got dumped. So what did she do, people? She went and sucked on Mike McMahon's penis to get him to go hate a black man that he would maliciously prosecute. And people, that's exactly what happened. People may say that my language as far as accusing this young woman of sexual impropriety with the DA is extreme. But ladies and gentlemen, there is significant evidence to support to the fact that this woman has an inappropriate relationship with Staten Island's top law enforcement official. How does her ex-boyfriend have text from her when she's telling him she's going to have a racist prosecutor arrest him if he keeps going and won't bend to her will? People, not because I'm abusing her, not because I'm hurting her. People, I was threatened with Michael McMahon because I wouldn't bow to my ex-girlfriend's needs and allow her to rekindle the relationship. People, I got this in fucking text message. Oh, you want to have dinner to talk about our problems tonight? I want nothing to do with you. You know what? I work for the DA. Maybe I should tell the DA this. Why would you threaten me with a racist prosecutor? Because I just don't want to be with you, people. This is what black women do. And then the saddest part is because black women have become such a corrupt body of society that they bond together to protect the lies of each other, people. A group of black women will know a woman is lying on a man, but they will sit there and claim solidarity. They'll claim sisterhood. They'll claim God. They'll claim religion. They'll claim whatever they need to claim to support that lying ass woman in her position so they don't have to tell the truth on the man that was lied on. People, I can tell you this happened to me for a fact with several politicians on Staten Island. It happened with Camilla Hanks. It happened with Debbie Rose people. It happened with Dana Walker Boyd. These were all black women who supported my ex knowing she was lying. People, we have Mackenzie Upshaw and Courtney Chase, two employees from the Richmond County DA's office. People, I played a recording where you hear Courtney Chase, a woman who is employed as an advocate within the Staten Island DA's office, tell me that I was the victim and I should have never been arrested. Her supervisor, Courtney Chase, knew this also. But people, guess what? My ex was a black woman sexually involved with the district attorney of Staten Island. And these black women hate black men anyway. Remember, people, it's the sisterhood of solidarity. When a black woman lies on a black man, other black women will support her lie for vengeance and for the need to destroy black men. It is the exact truth. And I challenge anyone to support this to me. I'm not saying that white women don't do it also. Of course, white women do it. Of course, white women manipulate law enforcement against their own men. So, my white brothers out there, do not think that I am leaving you out. White women do it also. They file false police reports on their men. They lie to the cops regarding custody hearings. They accuse their baby fathers of abuse and molestation. Anything they can do to make that man look bad in the eyes of law enforcement, these women will do. And unfortunately, due to bias and racism in law enforcement, the man who is lied on has to deal with it. You have to fight your way out of the bad allegations. This is why I say firmly, people, that the American judicial system is not innocent till proven guilty. That is a lie, especially if you're a black or minority man. No, people, you are guilty until you fight your ass off and prove your innocence. You have to prove your innocence for law enforcement to believe you if you are a minority man. White men have about a 50-50 shot of being believed. Black men, we have no shot of being believed by law enforcement when a woman walks in and accuses us of abuse, a sexual offense, or anything related to a child. People, you will deal with it because they want to prosecute you. They don't care if there's any probable cause to arrest you. The only thing they care about is violating your civil rights and reinforcing slavery through the loophole of the 13th Amendment. So if they can get a criminal charge on you, people, guess what that does? That subjects you to the loophole in the 13th Amendment, which would allow them to reposition you as a slave and send you to jail. So of course the racist establishment is against that, people. They need to create slavery by using the criminal justice system and the prison system. So of course they're going to support a lying ass woman who can help them get a conviction. See, people, this is why they don't. This is truly why they don't arrest women who file false reports. Because see, cops know, and cops know that a woman who is willing to use the cops once for help will do it again. So they rely on that woman who may go out lying on her black or Hispanic ex-boyfriend. They'll never arrest these women because they rely on the false reports these women collectively file against men that they know are lies. People, they just need to keep working. The criminal justice system is not overcrowded because crime is on the rise. The criminal justice system is overcrowded because a lot of the police reports that are allegedly filed and investigated are complete bullshit. See, the police like taking the reports they know they're bullshit because then they don't really have to do a job. They can easily frame someone based on the statement of a liar and then step out of it and let the district attorney's office deal with it. Like I've told you, people, conspiracy does not happen on one level. Conspiracy takes all arms of law enforcement to arrest and falsely prosecute an innocent black man. It takes the advocates on the personal and civilian level. It takes the administrators and the facilitators within the police department or the court. It takes the cops, it takes the detectives, and it takes the judges to complete a conspiracy that deprives innocent men and women of their civil rights. It doesn't just happen because a cop falsely arrests you, because a cop is only one part of the problem. When you are maliciously prosecuted, when you are falsely convicted, they involve all arms of law enforcement in the conspiracy to frame you. And the biggest, the most corrupt aspect of a victim system is a witness who lies through their teeth. And people, you are going to find a lot of women who lie through their teeth because they are supported by the corruption of law enforcement. They're supported by gender bias. They're supported by pathological lying scum like Courtney Chase and Mackenzie Upshaw, the women who falsify information, who deny victim rights so they can accentuate the racist will of their boss or their lesbian agenda. Because I think that's why Mackenzie Upshaw really worked with Francina. She's a lesbian. Francina's attracted. From what I understand, Francina's a lesbian also, from what I'm being told by the fact that she tried to sleep with my child's mother. And my child's mother hates me so much that she would actually try to sleep with the woman that she accused of assaulting her child for 5 years in the fucking family court. Excuse me, 4 years. Now, people, that has taught me something valuable. One, it has taught me that my child's mother is a complete piece of shit that I will never allow within 50 feet of me. She can do whatever she wants now. She can lie and tell a judge whatever she wants. People, I don't want nothing to do with this fucking kid because of this scumbag ass lying woman that I'm going to prove to the court's a liar. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You want to give her full custody of call ahead. I'm just telling you, I don't want custody if I got to deal with this bitch. And I'm not going to deal with it. I swear to you on my mother. People, this kid will never see me if I got to deal with this woman. She will never know who Clayton Howard is because I care about me. I care about my future. And I will never subject myself to a woman that is less than me, lying on me to police because of the racism in law enforcement. That is not going to happen with Clayton Howard. I'm a fucking man. I'm not going to let anybody subjugate me because they think they can use my child as a tool to hurt me. I'm not going to let a racist woman lie through her teeth on me because she's mad I won't give her my dog. So racists want to set me up on criminal charges so I cop out and they can set me up on a deeper charge. Fuck these racist people. And as a man out there, if you are going through this, if you are being subject to false arrest, if you are being subjected to slander and defamation, if you are being subjected to your kid being taken from you while law enforcement support the liar, you have a right to defend yourself. See, the problem when we go through a lot of these situations, man, is we become responsive. We become we become defendants. We start defending ourselves, people. Because what else can you do when you're being attacked by social services, by a lying ass mother's daughter's mother, by a cop and a prosecutor based on all the false allegations that these women do? Because that's what they do, people. They don't just go to family court. They'll lie on you in the family court. They'll lie on you with the police, and then they use that to go get the advocates that are going to help them lie on you even more. People, you know how many men lose custody of their kids for things that they've never done? Because it's a bitter ass baby mother out there who's mad he don't want to fuck with her no more, or possibly moved on to a woman that was superior than her. So now they use the child as leverage to keep the man in line. Okay, you want to be with this bitch? Well, if you're going to be with this woman, you're not going to see your child. I'm going to keep your child from you. Oh, you don't want to do this for me? Well, I'm going to keep your child for you. Oh, you don't want to be in a relationship with me? I'm going to just go lie and tell the family court that you abused the kid. People, it's so bad that the women will convince kids to lie on their father. People, I actually saw a podcast about that a couple of weeks ago where this guy was separated from his daughter for 15 years because the mother convinced the daughters to lie on him and say he sexually assaulted them. Now, after 15 years, they get this the mother, the father, and the daughters on national TV to get the mother to apologize. And the mother finally apologizes, people, but the father won't forgive her. And people, I totally respected that man. Because look what you did to that man's life. Look at the fucking look at the defamation and slander that man had to live with because this woman lied and said he molested his kids. And now 15 years later, you think an apology is just enough? People, I watched this man not only not forgive the mother, he didn't forgive the daughters either. Because his logic was at the time that this lie was made, the daughters knew he didn't do this. But just to side with their mother, they lied on him, people. I would do the same fucking thing. My daughter can't talk, thank God. But if she could, people, I don't want nothing to do with this kid because she's too close to her mother. And her mother is a piece of shit, people. I don't want no piece of shit ass woman around me. I don't want a woman around me who's so jealous of my success and my upward trajectory that she's willing to lie on me to try to hurt me because I don't want her. Get the fuck out of here, you scumbag ass little dirty creature. Absolutely not, people. So yes, I went to the court. I filed charges on her. Yes, I did. Yes, I filed ACS charges on her because I know that she's negligent to the child. And people, again, I have video camera proof that she smokes weed and drinks in front of the kid. People, ACS still hasn't called me because the truth is ACS only works against the fathers. The mother has to do something so severe that ACS will take action against them. ACS lets mothers be crackheads, thieves, prostitutes. Don't give a fuck about the best interest of the kid. They care about subjecting fathers to criminal liability and liability within the family court. And they are willing to do that even when the father does not deserve it. And the mother is the one who should be in family court. No, people, because they know that the man most of the time is going to be the breadwinner. So what they want to do is subject the person most likely to an income that the family court can manipulate through false reports, through malicious prosecutions, or through orders of child support. I wish I fucking would pay this creature any child support after what she's done to me in the last few weeks. People, I'm saying this now. I'm going to say it in court. I refuse to pay this dusty piece of shit who I have a child with, any support. You're purposely keeping my child away from me. You're lying after thousands of dollars that's been spent on this child to try to make me look like a deadbeat on social media because you're mad I don't want to be with you. Fuck you, you crusty ass prostitute. Excuse my language, people, but you can hear the hatred in my voice for this woman now. Up until a couple of days ago, people, I would have never spoke about this woman because, again, my personal issue with her was just that with the child. My focus was my child. But since this woman decided to publicly come out and attack me based on a fucking lie because I don't want to be with her, absolutely not, people. Now we decimate her with the truth. We expose the recordings. We expose the text messages where she's trying to beg for dick, and I say, no, you fucking disgusting prostitute. Would I want to catch a disease from your nasty ass? You're gonna try to trick me into fucking you again when you fucking a bunch of people off the internet, you scumbag asshole. And people is so real. I got ads from this woman from 2.5 weeks ago. She's gonna try to lie through her teeth in court and say none of this is true, that I'm just after her. But people, the fucking ads are dated. Date and year. They're dated. You can't lie about an ad that says that you were selling ass on April 1st of 2025 and say it was 3 years ago. No, you can't. It's the truth. You were doing this on April 1st of 2025. You're lying. So we're going to go with that, people, and we're going to expose the lies of this corrupt black woman. But people, it's deeper than that because black women do this to men all over the country. Right now in Staten Island, I am facing the lies of a lying ass, dusty woman who has been exposed to be the liar she is. People, the charges against me regarding Francina Evans on Staten Island were completely dismissed, people. They were dismissed. People, she's telling people she got an order of cyber harassment for me. People, the order is invalid because the Superior Court of New Jersey already determined that I did not do that. But she's so desperate to pursue racism. She uses the racism of the lower level traffic courts in New Jersey, which are historically racist towards black men, to try to supersede a superior court order. You dumbass bitch, you can't do that because the municipal court does not supersede the superior court. And people, she's going to find that out when she goes back to court in 2 weeks and she gets arrested for violating this order of protection. It's going to happen, people. Her attorney has been sanctioned for falsifying information to state prosecutors. People, this has to stop. No man deserves to be lied on by a woman simply because he does not want to be with her, people. That is the truth of my situation. People, I come from a community where there are dozens of black advocates, but they won't help me because the truth is they all sided with this lying bitch that they don't want to be exposed for lying with. See, people, the people in my community like Charles Fall, the people in the community like Victor Allen Brown, the pastor, the people like the DA, the people like Dana Walker Boyd, Camilla Hanks, Debbie Rose, all of these people who are within the community all stood with Francina Evans. People, now she's convicted of an order of protection and she's a fucking liar. Where's all these black people that stood with her? I'll tell you where they are, people. They're afraid of the damage that their personal reputation is going to suffer by the fact that now this girl has been exposed. People, the biggest blow to law enforcement on Staten Island is going to be the winning of my civil action against them. And people, I'm going to win. There's no way that the Staten Island District Attorney's Office can get out of the lawsuit they're in. People, they're trying to claim 11th Amendment immunity. You can't claim 11th Amendment immunity when you illegally arrested someone for something that happened in another state that you knew happened in another state. People, you just violated the federal law of territorial jurisdiction. You just violated federal domestic violence rights laws when you refused to help the victim in favor of a liar that you framed him on for. People, how the fuck they gonna get out of this? This is why Mike McMahon tried to honor Courtney Chase, because he needs to do something about what I'm doing right now. The public outspeech against him. The proof I'm putting up that advocates lie to victims of domestic violence in order to uphold the racist objective of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office. And don't think that the Staten Island District Attorney's Office isn't racist because he's standing next to a black woman, Courtney Chase. People, what is the title of this broadcast? The greatest enemy to black men within the community are black women, sellouts like Courtney Chase, sellouts that will stand next to the white man to give the white man credibility, knowing that the white man is racist and violating minority rights. People, Courtney Chase is the biggest sellout in victim rights and advocacy on Staten Island. She should be fired. She is no advocate. She is no true woman of justice, people. She's a pathological liar who supported a pathological liar in order to back the racist agenda of her boss. And people, I challenge anybody to disprove that what is being said about Courtney Chase is a lie. See, people, nothing being said about Courtney Chase is a lie. Courtney Chase is a liar. And what the district attorney of Staten Island is hoping to do is use Courtney Chase's blackness to stand next to them. People, look at this. This is a textbook. This is a fucking, excuse me. This is textbook manipulation right here. This is textbook manipulation that Mike McMahon. Because people, I've been going in on Courtney Chase. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that I have been posting legitimate stuff about the misconduct of Courtney Chase. Here it goes. So how could you put this woman on to honor her when you have a man who can literally prove that she's lying through her teeth? And the things she did to him on purpose, people. See, the tactic of a district attorney like Michael McMahon is he's going to use these token fake ass black women like a Courtney Chase or a Mackenzie Upshaw, because the truth of the matter is he needs them. He needs these women to falsify his narrative, to support his fake narrative that he's not racist and that he's not against black men, people. That's exactly the opposite. Mike McMahon.
Hello?
Hey, good afternoon. Is this Mackenzie?
It's not. How can I help you?
Hey, who am I speaking?
People, this is complete propaganda. See, he only took this picture with her to make himself not appear to be racist. Look at this sellout bitch right here. Look at this woman who's in recording lying to a
my name's Courtney. How can I help you?
Hey, Courtney. So
Hi.
I am a victim that has a final order of protection against someone that has kind of been ignored by the office, and the person is still harassing me.
What's your name?
My name is Mr. Howard. Last name, first name Clayton. I've been calling for like a year, and no one has ever called me back. I talked to
Now, you hear me tell her who I am, that I've been calling for over a year. No one calls me back. Now, people, this is important to listen to this conversation, because in this conversation, this woman tries to defer me several ways before I start again. The first thing she does is she tells me that because I'm a defendant, I can't receive domestic violence services. Now, people, they had just arrested me. I wasn't a defendant before that. The conversation I have with Mackenzie Upshaw, Mackenzie Upshaw admits that I was the victim. This is her supervisor. Her supervisor knew I was the victim, people, but this piece of shit, scumbag, fat, sellout piece of shit literally sat here and lied to me to protect the racist agenda of this fucking piece of shit standing next to her. Excuse my language, because I hate the face of this white man. He is a piece of shit, people. He is disgusting. My mother stood next to this bastard, and you tried to frame her son when my mother died. Fuck Mike McMahon, people. I am gonna give every ounce of my energy to destroy this piece of shit because he framed me, people. It's not because I hate white people. It's not because I have a problem with authority. People, I got framed by Staten Island because of this smiling, racist, decrepit, small dick piece of shit you see in front of you, this racist bastard by the name of Michael McMahon. And he uses sellout black women like this scum pig standing next to him, and Francina Evans and Mackenzie Upshaw, that are willing to betray black men to help him fill his racist agenda. And people, I can prove it.
Mackenzie, I think it was back in January through text message, and I kind of gave her this order and everything. And at first she tried to tell me information that was actually false. She told me that the order of protection was not valid in New York because it was out of New Jersey, but it actually is because I registered it in New York. But she did tell me that if I was ever arrested by this woman, because she saw the evidence that the woman was after me, that she would advocate to the DA's office, because, you know, you guys got a million cases. There's no way they would know the backstory behind me and this woman when it came up. However, on May 16th, I was arrested because the day this woman was convicted, December 1st, she went into the 120 and lied and said while we were in court that I called her and said, if I can't have you, no one else can. The day I want to...
And you still have an open case right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm Mackenzie's supervisor. What I'd suggest, just to...
Now, this is her trying to suggest I go and I call my lawyer because I'm a defendant. Now, people, I'm going to let you hear after this. I wasn't a defendant, people. They literally framed me to deny me domestic violence resources. In the next recording I'm going to hear is I'm going to let you hear the woman she's talking about, Mackenzie Upshaw, admit to all of this. She's Mackenzie's supervisor. She knows I'm the victim. She's a lying fat piece of shit. And you disgusting pig-ass black woman, I'm going to bash you every time I get until they hold you accountable for what you did to Clayton Howard. This scumbag white man is not going to take pictures with you and honor you to try to cover up the fact that you've done the things you've done to me. Courtney Chase, I want you fired. You should not be a victim supervisor when you're lying to victims to protect defendants. That is the truth, and this racist piece of shit boss of yours knows you did it. And until I have you held accountable, Courtney Chase, I am on your ass. You are not a credible woman. You are not a just advocate. You are a pathological liar who supports racism and injustice against black men. And Clayton Howard's going to expose you. You're not going to lie and smile and pretend to be employee of the year, not as long as I can prove you violated my rights, you fat piece of shit. And I'm going to expose you every chance.
Protect yourself is you have to speak to your defense attorney. We can't speak with you if you have an open case.
I did.
Okay.
And he told me that, he doesn't have any domestic violence resources. He said under...
And people, because remember, she told me to talk to my defense attorney for domestic violence resources. People, defense attorneys don't have fucking domestic violence resources. That's why they have advocacy services. That's why the government and the state and the federal government, gives the Richmond County District Attorney's Office funds to pay piece of shits like Courtney Chase to be advocates to victims like me. Not false victims that racist, decrepit-ass white men like Mike McMahon create. No, you have to protect the true victims, Courtney Chase, the victims who have been to trial and won orders of protections, not the victims that your racist, small dick-ass boss set up and create to violate the rights of true victims who happen to be black men. Courtney Chase is a disgusting sellout, people, and I'm not done with her until she's
federal and state law that I am supposed to be allowed to work with advocates. The problem is that my ex is really well known in your office, and your office has refused to help me with this woman.
Well, also the issue is, again, you have an open case, so we're unable to speak to you.
I didn't have an open case before. I just got an open case. I've been calling for a year. I was not a defendant until May 6th.
Listen to how this fat bitch is so dismissive, people. Listen how she's dismissing me. And now you hear her tell me this, people. I'm gonna play Courtney Chase yet. So you hear the previous conversation before this, and you know this fat piece of shit is lying. Courtney Chase is a disgrace to domestic violence advocacy. She should never be the supervisor in a place that is supposed to supervise victims lying this bad. And the only reason she hasn't been held to account is because the racist scum next to her has been lying for her. But people exposing this piece of shit exposes her. Exposing her exposes him. And that's what we're going to keep doing until we expose the corruption of the Richmond County DA's
16th. I was the victim. And every time I call the office, I have text messages from Mackenzie. I have emails from you guys. You guys would not help me. I'm not looking for trouble. I just need this woman to stop, and I need this order honored because it's federally protected and it is valid.
Well, the way the order's honored is that's through PD. That's not through our office.
Yeah, PD arrested her 2 weeks ago, and your office let her go.
So you hear the excuse, people, the way the order's honored through PD. So the NYPD realized they had a problem because the NYPD could no longer deny that Francina Evans was lying. But guess what, people? When the NYPD would try to arrest her, Courtney Chase and Mike McMahon would come together 343 or decline to prosecute this woman and release her from the precinct because Staten Island didn't want the exposure of a woman that it honored for National Victims' Rights Week being exposed to be a pathological liar. So this racist piece of shit you see in front of you, he purposely had me framed so I would be locked out of the domestic violence system as the actual victim and receive no advocates and no support towards what Francina Evans was doing. And people, the Richmond County DA's office knows this is the truth. This is why they hate Clayton Howard so much. This is why they've tried to frame me, people. This is why Mike McMahon is after me. But Mike McMahon, I'm going to tell you something. I ain't scared, bitch. I'm going to keep going every fucking day until I expose you for the racist piece of shit you are. I don't give a damn if you stand next to 100 fake-ass black women. I don't care if you stand next to six-toe Debbie Rose, her fake-ass people. She was the biggest most corrupt official on Staten Island. She was lazy. She was a complete disgrace to the office of city council. Next, you got Camilla Hanks. This bitch taking drug money from people and then going to pretend as though she supports the community. Lady, get out of here. The advocates on Staten Island are fake. The politicians on Staten Island, they support this scumbag because they need to stand next to the white man for power. No, you need to stand next to the people for power. The people empowered Michael McMahon. Mike McMahon just uses propaganda to make the people think he does a good job. He hides the mistakes that he makes, like framing innocent black men, like the one right in front of you, like maliciously prosecuting Victor Abraham for allegedly a string of robberies that the 120 and his office knew this guy didn't do. People make it make sense. How is the district attorney framing innocent victims and getting away with it? Because the local corrupt black advocates do nothing about it. They're more concerned with being held up by the white man. They're more concerned with taking pictures next to this fucking scumbag instead of holding him accountable for the things he's actually doing to black people in the community. I elect to hold Mike McMahon accountable. I elect to hold this fat scumbag sellout ass black woman who pretends to be for the rights of victims accountable for lying through her teeth and violating my civil rights. Let's go.
Got 343.
Okay, that might be the end of that podcast, people. Let's go to Courtney Chase now, because people, this is important, and none of these women can be held. None of these disgusting women should be allowed to be honored or anything when there is proof that they have done the things they've done. So let's go to Mackenzie Upshaw.
Hey, good afternoon. May I speak to Mackenzie Upshaw?
This is Mackenzie.
Hey, Mackenzie. We spoke a couple of months back in January. My name is Clayton Howard. Do you remember me?
Yes, Mr. Clayton. How are you?
I'm okay. So a couple of months ago we spoke. I was trying to get some help regarding a final order I have against my ex. I'm pretty sure you.
Now, this is Courtney Chase. This is Mackenzie Upshaw. This is the employee of the woman you just saw in the picture with Staten Island District Attorney's Mike McMahon. This conversation is immediately before the conversation where you hear Courtney Chase pick up the phone and say hello. Me say, is this Mackenzie? And she say, no, it's not. This is the conversation that Mackenzie hung up on me on. And when I called back, Courtney Chase answered the phone, people. This is the corruption of the Staten Island DA's office. The same office where this decrepit, half-dead white man will lie and tell you that he supports black men. He supports victim rights. He's a fucking liar, people. He frames innocent victims to create dummy victims for media attention. This is why Francina Evans was created, because she's an attractive-looking black woman. So what they did was frame her unattractive ex-boyfriend to look like an offender so they can put her before the stage as a victim of domestic violence, knowing she was convicted for domestic violence offenses weeks before she was honored. People, this is the true corruption of the office of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office. And I would do my own community an injustice not to expose the corruption of the office of Michael McMahon and the lion-ass advocates who are Mackenzie Upshaw, Courtney Chase, Lisa Thompson, Darren Albanese, Andrew Crawford, and this other district attorney who framed me, Gabrielle Gilo Venazio. People, this office is corrupt. And the only way that it's going to change is exposing what they have actually done. Not lying for the people, not covering it up, not letting the fake advocates like the Debbie Roses, the Camilla Hanks, the Charles Falls make you think that Mike McMahon is not racist because they need to stand next to him. Not fake candidates like Abu Say, who stand next to Mike McMahon and say, oh, we appreciate Mike McMahon so much. You sellout ass nigga. You don't know what Mike McMahon do because you're not really for the people of Staten Island. If you were, you would know the district attorney of Staten Island is framing black men, violating people within the communities of New Brighton, Stapleton, and Park Hill. You would know all of this. The only way a black man would not know this is because he is so far removed from the people he claims to represent that there's no way he can know what's really going on in the community. So unfortunately, I have to say this Abu Say guy from Staten Island is piece. Forgive me, brother, because I've never met you, but I can just watch your policies, and I know you full of shit when you praising a white man who is framing black people on Staten Island. And people, this is not a race issue. This is a justice issue. If I can prove that the Staten Island District Attorney's Office framed me for a misdemeanor domestic violence offense in order to create a victim that it can market before the community, people, do you realize the implications of that? Do you realize that if they were willing to frame me for a misdemeanor domestic violence offense, how many people they might have framed for murders? How many people they might have planted drugs on? How many people went to jail for false assault and false arrest? Come on, people, they framed me for a misdemeanor domestic violence offense, and they knew I was the victim. You really think they're not out here tampering with evidence, falsifying documents, falsifying narratives to get illegal convictions on people? This is why I speak against the Staten Island District Attorney's Office. Because when corruption is willing to bend the rules for something so small, people, we can only assume that it's bending the rules for big things much bigger. People, I don't want my people and my brothers and sisters on Staten Island getting arrested for things they didn't do, being prosecuted for things they never been prosecuted for, having narratives created on them by illegal, racist, or biased prosecutors who are just hungry and ambitious for a conviction, forgetting the fact that these people that they are lying on, they're destroying their lives. People, see, this is the truth behind law enforcement in a corrupt community. It destroys lives. It doesn't help people. It doesn't protect the community. What it does is aggrandize the careers of the people who support the racist tactics of the local top law enforcement official who happens to be racist or biased. And in my situation, that racist and biased district attorney is Michael McMahon. The sellout advocates and employees in the Richmond County District Attorney's Office is Courtney Chase and Mackenzie Upshaw. You have dirty prosecutors like Alva Prenga and Gabrielle Giovanazio and Darren Albanese, all white people who secretly support the racist agenda of Blackman. And they use these black women like the fools they are to effectuate their racism. People, I don't choose to be a part of that. Let's continue with
Quite
Mackenzie
familiar with
Upshaw.
the situation. Anyway, during that conversation, you told me if something happened, I could call back and you would advocate for the DA, considering I had all of that paperwork against her. Unfortunately, something did happen. I think I sent you my order of protection that was issued December 1st. This woman walked into the 120 4 days after, lied and said on December 1st, at the exact time we were in court, I called her and told her, if I can't have you, no one can. And unfortunately, the prosecutors in that office actually trumped up a misdemeanor violation against me and charged me with stalking and harassment. They also charged me with an offense, Mackenzie, that happened 3 months before this woman even petitioned to have the general order against me. A completely trumped up charge. I do have an attorney, and I'm trying to do everything I can to show the DA's office the truth, which is that I already have a decision that this woman was harassing the hell out of me, and she still is. But I'm still having the same problem, which is, they're trying to act like my order doesn't exist, even though it's registered in Richmond County and it's 100% legal. And I don't really know what to do, Mackenzie. I'm at my wit's end.
Got it. 1 second, just taking a look.
No problem.
Okay, so your attorney is John Rappaway?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know if is the proper name Rappaway?
I'm sorry?
Is the proper last name Rappaway? That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's the proper last name.
Do you know if he's spoken to the attorney we have here, Gabriella?
He says he speaks to her off and on, Mackenzie. Honestly, he's telling me that my ex has pretty much free reign to walk in and out of there. She knows all the detectives. This Gabriella called him the other day and asked him, was there anything I would take to cop out for this? And Mackenzie, I did not do it. So obviously the answer was hell no.
Right.
But he is trying to talk to her, but they seem hell-bent on Mackenzie on trying to push this charge against me. And
right.
I didn't do it. We had the discovery. There's no proof of a phone call. There's no recording. There's nothing. Again, they charged me with something that happened months before she petitioned. And then the last thing is they charged me with actually the judge's order being posted to social media because they wouldn't help me, like I told you before, the 123 actually get the property back. And I got charged with all of that, even though the cops took me to the house to serve the order of protection. I do not understand what the hell they're thinking in this office. But he's telling me that I need to call and find out what's going on, using my rights as a victim to get an advocate to find out why they're not arresting her, because literally they arrested this woman 2 weeks ago and they 343'd her and let her out the back door. I submitted proof of a phone call. I had everything that substantiated the violations, but they will not arrest this girl. They will not honor this order of protection for anything, much like you said.
Got it. Okay. So I see that we had Ms. Francina as a victim at one point, but I know that we're not able to speak to her because of the case that she has with you. And 1 second.
Now, audience, that was a lie, because my ex was intricately involved with the Richmond County DA's office. Like I have shown you in the past, this woman was indicted. She had 3 orders of protection against her, and she had just lost the appeal for the order she keeps telling people was fraudulent. But people, despite all of that, despite a criminal indictment, numerous orders of protection against her, and losing the appeal, the Staten Island District Attorney's Office still attempted to manipulate the community by honoring this woman for National Crime Victims' Rights Week at St. John's University on Staten Island, and falsely arresting me for allegations that were completely unsubstantiated and based on a complaint that was dismissed in the state of New Jersey. This is the truth behind the corruption of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office. This advocate, Mackenzie Upshaw, who is an employee in the Staten Island District Attorney's Office, and the woman you've seen in the last recording, Courtney Chase, who is the supervisor of these advocates. See, Courtney Chase knew what Mackenzie Upshaw knew already, because this was all known from the office of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office since January of 2003. Audience, Clayton Howard wasn't arrested till May 16th. So that means 5 months before my arrest, the Richmond County District Attorney's Office knew 100% that Francina Evans was a criminal defendant with numerous orders of protection against her, and they also knew that she lost that appeal. But ladies and gentlemen, what did they do? They used social media to restrict that information from you. They tried to drown out my voice by honoring her and promoting her movement. Breaking up is not a crime. People, it was a fucking lie. You would think that this district attorney's office have now knowing that it's a lie. People, they had to dismiss my criminal charges. Why am I still barred from resources as a domestic violence victim when they know that I'm the victim? I'm going to tell you why, people. Because of racism and corruption within the office of Mike McMahon. Let's let Courtney Chase. Let's let Mackenzie Upshaw finish.
Okay, but you're saying that Mr. John told you to reach out to us?
Yes, he did. He said to call the victim advocate services, and
that's
he said,
very odd.
He's saying that nobody will give him an answer.
Now, see, she's saying that's odd because my attorney told me to call the DA's office advocates. I'm going to say this again. For any attorney who's watching me, you know I'm telling the truth. Attorneys do not have fucking domestic violence advocates. Attorneys don't have advocates. Attorneys are attorneys. Attorneys have paralegals. Attorneys have secretaries. They don't have domestic violence advocates to reach out to DA's office. But this is the lie that the Staten Island Richmond District Attorney's Office wanted to tell me, to defer me from federally protected resources I was entitled to as the actual trial-ordered victim of a domestic violence dispute with Francina Evans. No, people, they framed me for a misdemeanor offense because any offense that against Francina Evans would make me a defendant and thereby bar me from the actual services that they gave to her. So what did they do to stop that? They framed me for a false criminal complaint that would list me into the system as a defendant, thereby barring me from any resources that would help me fight against Francina Evans. The only thing I had was myself and my fucking attorney. And that's because justice on Staten Island framed me so I would be denied my crime victim rights against the woman that they framed me for. That is the truth of the office of Mike McMahon. And if you listen to Courtney Mackenzie Chase, she's about
why
to
they
tell
won't honor my order. They called us last week, told us she had been picked up on the violation. When he checked, they let her out the back door in 343. Again, as you know, she got convicted, yet they're putting her up and having her speak at St. John's as a victim of domestic violence. When I was the one who received the orders, she got convicted. I don't know what they're trying to pull.
People, you just heard Mackenzie say, she agreed. She knows. She knows that I've been told.
They're trying so hard to make Francina seem like the victim. But Mackenzie, we got to be fair. The whole U.S. justice system is based on the trial process. If we went to trial and I was awarded the order, the office should be respecting the order and not allowing her to continue to come after me. This is ridiculous.
I got it. Okay. You know what? So I'm speaking to Gabriella, who's the attorney here. I'm very sorry that Mr. John told you to do that. That's really not appropriate. He should be speaking to the attorney. So I'm gonna have Gabriella reach out to Mr. John, because either way, right? If she's saying something occurred, and we decline to speak to her, then they might be no longer going through with that case, but we need to keep you updated on that. And you shouldn't have a case either here, if she's accusing you of something, but that needs to be communicated between the two. So I just let Gabriella know that I need to speak.
Now, audience, you just heard what she said. She just said, I should not have a case, people. I should not have a case. But let me tell you what happened. You think the DA's office dropped my case after this? No, people. The next call I had was the call you heard between Courtney Chase and that picture with the DA's office. I mean, not Courtney Chase. Yeah, Courtney Chase with that picture with the DA's office, where she tells me that I'm a defendant. They can't talk to me. People, your fucking employee knows for a fact that I was not a defendant, that I was framed by the victim, and she's known for months that I was the victim. Why did the supervisor get on the phone and lie to me and this woman not get back on the phone? People, the simplest answer is what I'm about to tell you. Because there was a massive conspiracy between the NYPD, the Advocates of Safe Horizon, and the Richmond County DA's office to frame Clayton Howard for domestic violence allegations against Francina Evans. None of them were the truth, people. But the way the way this woman was given life in her accusations is that the DA's office turned a blind eye to everything she was doing on me. And people, this is the truth that I am going to prove in federal court. every complaint against Francina was dismissed or refused to investigate. Numerous police reports went missing. People, what type of sick shit is this, people? I'll tell you what it is. It is the power and the unity of a corrupt, unjust legal system that worked against me, an innocent black man with a federally protected order of protection, to frame me for DV allegations, to lock me out of the resources of the system. People, that is the truth. This is why Staten Island District Attorney Mike McMahon is after me. This is why he hates me, because he needs to shut me up, because he knows I'm telling the truth, people, but he can't shut me up. He forgot who the fuck my mother was, and she definitely taught her son how to fight injustice. Let's keep going.
To her, I'm going to ask her to reach out to John.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, but is there anywhere I can go to honestly get an advocacy like service?
Now, people, I'm asking for an advocate. I'm the trial-ordered legal victim of a domestic violence dispute that this woman has just admitted to. Listen what she tells me.
To someone? Because I've been everywhere, Mackenzie. I've been to your office, obviously, the Family Justice Center. Everyone denies me, and I'm the one with the actual decision.
Exactly. So what has to happen is the reason that they're denying you is because when they look you up, they don't know the background story that we kind of know. When they look you up, they just see you there as a defendant. And so unfortunately, sometimes people do try to go through these services when they actually have committed a crime against someone. So that's
now you hear that. You hear that. What she's telling you is that the advocacy agencies won't help me because in the system I'm defending. She's acknowledging that sometimes the people who are really defendants try to use the services against the actual victim. She's talking about Francina Evans. But people, they still won't let me use resources, people. They're still lying and have me listed as a defendant in the system, even though they had to drop my criminal fucking case, people. This is how desperate Staten Island is to cover up this lie about Francina Evans. But people, I'm not going to let Mike McMahon cover it up. I'm not going to let this disgusting pig Courtney Chase think she's going to lie on this innocent black fucking man. I'm not going to let Mackenzie Upshaw think this recording is not going to have her held to account. People, my mission is to expose the corruption of the Staten Island DA's office or fucking die trying. Let's keep going.
All they're seeing. So that's what I'm saying. If these cases are going to be knocked down so that you're just placed as a victim, we need to make that clear on record so that when we're sending you to these places or making referrals, they can just accept you. But until it's no longer showing that you're a defendant, you know, it's a good chance that these services are going to not accept you.
Now you hear it, people. The reason I can't get services is because I've been framed in the system as a criminal defendant. The reason why I'm being denied is because all of the services that would help me think I'm a defendant, because the DA's office framed me, so the actual trial federally protected order I have would be invalid because of an active criminal prosecution filed by a false complaint by Joseph Quirk in the lies of Francina Evans. People, a conspiracy takes all arms of law enforcement. It takes corrupt advocates. It takes corrupt administrators in the police department. It takes corrupt officers. It takes corrupt prosecutors. And the last coup de grace is the corrupt judge. 5 corrupt aspects, 5 points of a conspiracy, people. I am showing you how all 5 points of a conspiracy came together to deprive me of the right to seek justice against Francina Evans. People, the Richmond County DA's office cannot prove I'm lying because I'm not, people. What they're going to try to do is bury what I'm saying in propaganda by honoring that piece of shit Courtney Chase, knowing that she's named in a federal lawsuit for violating federally protected domestic violence rights. This is the truth of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office that this scumbag Mike McMahon does not want you to know. But I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to keep telling you, and I'm going to keep promoting it until I hold this racist piece of shit accountable. And anyone who doesn't like me on Staten Island, you need to get on the train. Because what's going to happen is Mike McMahon's office is going to be exposed in this lawsuit. And then every one of you that stood back and watched this happen, it's open season on you. You'll never run for political office as long as I can tell the truth about how the advocates and the politicians of Staten Island supported a district attorney who framed an innocent black man. And people, that's the goddamn truth. Mike McMahon framed me, and I'm going to prove it.
That's only on our side. But Mr. John, he should have services because technically he's your defense counsel.
He should have services. Here we're going to say this again, people. Criminal lawyers do not have fucking domestic violence advocates. Family lawyers don't have domestic violence advocates. You know who have domestic violence advocates? Domestic violence agencies like Safe Horizon, like the Family Justice Center, like the Siemens Society, people, like True to Life. These people that claim to be advocates and agencies that support victims of domestic violence, when they get this funding, the people that advocate to the DA's office, the people that find the domestic violence victim housing, excuse me, the people. The people that help domestic violence victims get orders of protection, the people who help you apply for funding to get money from the states, you know what they're called, people? They're called domestic violence advocates. Lawyers don't fucking have that. The agencies that lie to the government and claim they're going to help victims of domestic violence, they have that. What's one of those agencies, people? Safe Horizon. Where is Safe Horizon located? In the Richmond County DA's office. Who am I talking to? Courtney Chase and Mackenzie Upshaw, advocates for Safe Horizon, people. They're liars, and they're going to keep lying to you because they're using the credibility of this corrupt, scumbag-ass white man to make it seem like they have the law and the majesty of the truth behind them. People know. Just because someone's in an official position don't mean they're telling the truth, and you're about to learn it today.
You should have services that you should be able to go to.
He has nothing. He tells me that they're all in the DA's office. And he actually told me something's going on because they won't do anything to her. Mackenzie, I swear, I really don't know what's going on. I have no clue why they are after me so bad for this girl, and she got convicted. That's what I don't. It's not like I'm lying, and this is a TR.
People, that's injustice, people. That's the truth of injustice. When you have recordings that expose the district attorney's office for lying through their teeth, people, where's the fucking advance, people? Where are the media outlets to expose the corruption of Staten Island? People, I'm going to tell you, Staten Island district attorneys on a campaign to make me look like a pathological liar. So they can keep doing this all they want. See, people, this is why I keep playing the recording. This is why I play the text message. This is why I show proof, people. Proof that the Staten Island district attorney's office can't refute. They can't refute that that's Mackenzie Upshaw on that chase. People, they can't refute that that's their supervisor, Courtney Chase, lying to the victim of a domestic violence restraining order. People, this all happened. This is all the truth. People, black women have become the biggest and most dangerous adversary of a black man in the community. And as black men, as minority men, as advocates of social justice, not recognizing the danger that malicious and evil black women cause to tamper with the judicial system is a major problem. This is part one of my series exposing how black women have become the biggest oppressor of their own men. Stay tuned tomorrow for actually probably Saturday because I got to go to the U.S. attorney tomorrow about that Diddy shit. Oh my God. Stay tuned for part 2 Saturday morning about how black women do this again. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, this is about the truth. I choose to expose the office of Mike McMahon, the corruption of Mackenzie Upshaw, the corruption of Courtney Chase, and the lies that this office told in order to list me as a defendant so I would be denied the federally backed resources of a domestic violence victim in favor for an offender that they framed me to make a victim. They made Francina Evans a victim by framing me on false charges to market her to the community as though they helped black women. People, that was a lie, and we need to expose that because more people are going through this than just me. If they were willing to frame me for misdemeanor domestic violence charges, people of Staten Island, you got to ask yourself a question. How many other people is Mike McMahon framing that don't have the balls to speak up like me? That's the question. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, this is Clayton signing off. Corruption is real. Fight corruption in your local prosecutor's office. Never stay quiet because someone else is going to suffer the same